said I won't be back in a while. Don't wait. Already packed her bags, called a cab, made space. And she said I won't answer if you call me when you're lonely. I guess I let her go. Never mind, it's too late. But I can't believe I let you slip. I think about it 7 days a week, and this just can't be how it's supposed to end.
Good afternoon. Can everybody hear me? Welcome back to Carrie Moody. Hopefully you guys can hear me. So the Two Rivers Police Department did put out a Facebook post today that they are having a press conference on Elijah Vue here in about 4 to 5 minutes. So we'll keep checking with that. Wonderful. Thank you, Carrie, for letting me know. Litwalk, thank you so much for being here. Margaret, Opal, I appreciate all of you. Yep, thank you. This is a case that's very dear to my heart. You guys are here, so I know it's very dear to yours as well. It's very saddening. It's extremely saddening, and that's why I'm not on camera today. So hopefully you guys will understand. Real quick, I just want to show this video, and this was on the 10th, when they found the human remains near Elijah Vue's home.
In Two Rivers are investigating whether human remains found by a deer hunter could belong to missing 3-year-old Elijah Vue.
I'm not going to speculate. What I'm going to do is continue to search for Elijah Vue. We are doing everything in our efforts, believing that he is still out there. We will find him and we will bring him home.
Elijah disappeared back in February. He's become known as Wisconsin's toddler. And the remains were found on the property of a Girl Scout camp, reportedly near a home that was once shared by Elijah, his mother, Katrina Baur, and Baur's boyfriend, Jesse Vang. And Vang, as we know, was the last person to see Elijah alive. He and Baur still locked up this morning. And we will see if there are any more charges that come their way, depending on the identification of these remains. Let's take you now live to the town of Two Rivers, where the remains were found. WGBA reporter Preston Stober joins us live. Preston, good morning to you. Share with us what you can, please, about the remains that were found.
Well, Julie,
Real quick, if you're just joining us, we are waiting on the Elijah Vue press conference from the Two Rivers, Wisconsin Police Department. And while we're waiting, I just wanted to show you some of this, and I'm going to keep checking the Facebook page to see when that starts so we don't miss any of it.
we don't know too much about the remains now. What we can say is that police confirmed that that deer hunter did find the remains on private property somewhere here in the town of Two Rivers in Manitowoc County. Now, obviously, they are aware of Elijah Vue's case. The police are not confirming if these remains are connected with his case. As far as the camp goes here in the town of Two Rivers, we were told by police that the remains were not found on the camp. We actually talked with the director of the camp as well, and she said that there was no police search ongoing at the Girl Scout camp. We were out here all night last night. We can say that there was one police vehicle at the front of the camp, but we were told by the director that that was only because of the media report that was leading media to the camp.
Oh, okay. So, Preston, did they say where exactly the remains were located?
No, Julie, that remains to be said. I talked with a volunteer firefighter here at the town of Two Rivers, and he told me that they were found somewhere on Manitowoc Road, right here where the camp is located. Like I said, all we know now is that they were found on private property and not on the camp itself.
Oh, my. I know this has just shaken the community there, Preston. Tell us a little bit, has there been any response since this discovery from anyone in Elijah Vue's extended family, anything that you or your colleagues at WGBA have heard regarding their reaction to this?
Well, Julie, I've worked very closely with the family this whole time, and I can't say it's a testament to their strength and their resolve, how much they have worked on finding Elijah. I've reached out to them. I have not heard back yet as to what they know or what has been confirmed with them. As to the community here, I work here, and I cover the lakeshore here in Northeast Wisconsin, have a lot of connections in the community, and I can't say that there is an outpouring of support, an outpouring of worry right now. This is a child that, as you said here at the beginning, that they've really taken in and they come to love. And there is a lot of worry with what this does mean in his case.
Right, Preston. I'm curious, have you heard anything from either of the attorneys representing Katrina Baur, Lou Elijah's mom, or Jesse Vang, mom's boyfriend?
No, Julie, I've not heard anything from them. We've reached out to both sides, and as I'm sure we've covered multiple times, that Katrina Baur did switch attorneys. We've reached out to see if there's any information that they can provide at any time, but we have not heard anything back yet on that front.
Gotcha. Preston, anything else important to note about this? Anything else you've heard from?
So one thing I can tell you guys is I sound like I'm in a tube. What the heck? Yes, bless his heart. He is so stinking adorable. But one thing I can tell you guys real quick is that Katrina was set a couple months ago to take a plea deal, and she is not going to be taking that plea deal. So, well, at that time she wasn't. Things might change now, but apparently the state would not tell her the like the details of that. So she would be pleading only on the child abuse allegations. But neither her nor Jesse have been arrested on the disappearance of Elijah as of yet. I did just check the docket and there's still nothing there. But I do not believe Katrina is going to take any plea deal.
Any witnesses or anyone you've been talking with on the ground there and all the work that you've been doing on this case with little Elijah?
Julie, as far as confirmed or
All right, so it does look like they are getting ready to start the press conference. So right now their signal is a little funky. But hi, unsupervised, thanks for being here. So while they're waiting on their signal, let's go over this real quick. This is Katrina Baur. She is charged with chronic neglect of a child, resisting or obstructing an officer, 2 charges of that, and neglecting a child. Her next court hearing is going to be on October 22nd at 3:00 p.m., and that is a status conference. And then Jesse, he is being charged with chronic neglect of a child with a party to a crime modifier. His next court hearing is going to be September 27th at 2:00 p.m. So I don't typically stream those because they are so short, but I typically will do a video or I will do a, hold on. Can everybody hear that just fine? No sound. So I see people in the chat there complaining about the sound. So let me reload it. See if it's any better. hear it now?
By law enforcement searches, by private searches, by the landowner, by air, and with various search and rescue teams. Despite all those previous efforts and throughout different conditions and changing seasons, we continued searching and even had continued searches scheduled as early as next week. The remains found by the hunter and recovered by law enforcement were taken to the Wisconsin Crime Lab for DNA testing to identify the person. It is with a heavy heart that I announce to you today, those remains were identified as Elijah Vue. With that news, and following this briefing, the Amber Alert will be canceled. As soon as Elijah was identified, we notified his family. I ask that you respect them and allow them to grieve. The area where Elijah was located is private property. We ask that you respect the private property owner and avoid that area. This is not the outcome that we hoped for. The family's devastated, we're devastated, our community's devastated. I never met Elijah, but I watched that 3-year-old boy bring out the best in this community. I can't thank the public and our businesses enough. Thank you, DCI, for continuing to lead this investigation, FBI for their support, and our local, state, and federal law enforcement and fire departments, as well as the numerous neighboring agencies. I'd also like to thank all the churches, schools, all the search and rescue groups, and our residents and the family members. Thank you to all that the various city employees have done. The efforts of all of you and many others help bring conclusion to this phase of the investigation. What started out as a search for a missing boy is now a death investigation. Although we understand your desire for information, we can't share every detail, and we must maintain the integrity of the investigation. We know the family and the community has a lot of questions. This is a process that will take a great deal of time, and we'll do everything we can in this investigation to answer those questions. Going forward, we'll continue to share updates provided from DCI and the Manitowoc County DA. We will receive them, and we will continue to be your sole source of accurate information. Now that we know the location of where Elijah was located off Christie Bob Lane in Manitou Drive, we ask that anybody with any information, if you
Just
have
a few miles of ours.
or you think it may be useful in this investigation, to please contact law enforcement.
I think it was about 5 miles or something like
Yeah,
that.
my assistant chief will provide you with the information on how to do so, if you can. And again, thank you all for being here.
Chief, can we expect that investigation or autopsy?
Sorry, as a reminder, there will not be any questions.
That autopsy results be
As the chief said, if you have any information that you feel would be beneficial for this investigation, please contact Detective Lieutenant Glazer of the Two Rivers Police Department at 920-686-7200. Again, that's Detective Lieutenant Glazer, Glaser, at the Two Rivers Police Department at 920-686-7200. As Chief Minor said, we too are devastated by this news. Elijah is a little guy, but he left a huge impact on all of us, and he will not be forgotten. That will conclude the information we're sharing today at this press briefing. As a reminder, we will not be having questions at this time, as we already shared all the information we are given.
All right, so I knew they weren't going to take any questions, but you guys were asking where they found him, and I wouldn't say that it was about 5 miles away, but let me just double check that. Or if anybody in the chat happens to know. It was very close. They had actually already searched that area previously. And I do believe the items were kind of found at the time. It had snowed and therefore they missed these. And it happens. I feel that the Two Rivers Police Department truly did the best job possible with what they have. And, you know, we all know that the mom and mom's boyfriend, Jesse, are not speaking. So it's not the outcome that any of us wanted, but I'm very thankful that Elijah can be brought home to family that truly does love him and he can be laid to rest. Like I said, I'll continue to cover this until the very end, as I always do. And you can bet that any updates on the court docket or any new hearings, I absolutely will bring them to you right away. I really appreciate you guys all being here. Yeah, it was kind of a hasty search at first, but they worked really, really hard. So I'm sure that this is a huge blow for everybody in law enforcement there as well, because of course they wanted to find him. Um, so just a very sad day. The boyfriend is not the dad. The dad is actually Jimmy Vue, and he is in prison. Jimmy attends all of the court hearings via Zoom from prison. So he is there, he is watching, and yes, absolutely. A little Irish, I definitely will. I know that this has been very difficult for the family. So for now, we will give them the peace that they need. And I'm glad that we did have a few days to kind of absorb this. I felt, you know, we all knew that this was going to be the outcome after we heard the news the other day. I'm glad we had a few days. I'm glad it wasn't just sprung on us. We got to soak it in, and it's just a little bit easier to share it with you all today. Yes, it was in the vicinity to a former residence of Katrina. That's exactly right, Peter, thank you so much. I'd forgotten that point. So that's it, you guys. They have found Elijah Vue, and he will be laid to rest. And my guess is this is now going to turn into a murder case for Katrina and or possibly Jesse Vang. And we'll be there every step of the way to make sure that Elijah gets justice. Thank you so much for all of you for being here. I know that this was no notice. I appreciate it though. And I really appreciate every single one of you. You guys take care of yourselves. Take care of your babies, your families, and I will see you really soon. Have a wonderful evening. Have a great weekend.